our two first guests on so that all of us are sort of encircle on the screen. We have two powerful, fierce Black women on the program, in addition to you, right? Joining you, our fierce leader. And that those two are Roslyn Harmon and April Graves, the mayors of Golden Valley, Minnesota. Roslyn is, and the mayor of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. April, come on in. There we go. And we start welcome, Madam Mayor and Madam Mayor. We start with a certain protocol. Dr. B's going to do that right now.
Yeah, welcome, my beautiful sisters. It's just so wonderful. Let me just say this: nobody has done it, but I'm claiming this is the year of the Black woman, and I'm just claiming that right now. That the power we bring, the healing strength we bring, the fact that the earth was born from the womb of a Black woman, everybody here is connected to us in spirit and is right in line with the healing circle belief. We believe first that we meet in a circle, and though the circle may not be physical and virtual in this case, we're all imagining ourselves in this space in a circle. And the reason we meet in a circle, and African people do, is because there's no beginning or end, no top or bottom. Everyone in the circle has equal voice, equal access to the place of power, which is the center of the circle. And in that circle, as we have voice, we honor our elders. We honor them because they are the shoulders that we stand on. We stand on their shoulders and we sit here, the embodiment of hopes and dreams and desires and hard work and blood, sweat, and tears. We sit here, the embodiment of centuries and generations of dreams. So here in this present space of power, we sit honoring the shoulders. Then we honor our ancestors, because our ancestors are the shoulders that our elders stood on. And by the same token, we honor them because they are also closest to our Creator. So in this space of honoring elders, honoring Creator, we have various beliefs that this sacred space is safe. So I ask people to just inhale and exhale, letting the day's worries leave you as you sit there in a space of power. As we inhale, exhale, peace and joy cover us. I ask you to look to your left. Notice that you're safe. Look to your right. Notice you're safe. Look behind you. Notice you're safe. Feel your chair beneath you, holding up all the power you bring, holding the hope, the dreams, the aspirations of our people. And in this circle, we are orderly. For African people are orderly. And we use a talking stick. And this, in our case, is a virtual talking stick. So the way it works, we pass it from one speaker to the other, so everyone has a chance to have voice. If the spirit moves and you need the stick, honey, ask for the stick. It shall be given to you. So as we do this process and we learn and get educated and loved together, let's just welcome you, saying Ashe, our Creator, Ashe to our sisters and brothers who are shoulders that we stand on, Ashe to our ancestors. Ashe. And with Ashe. That, I give the talking stick to Baba Al. Here you go, brother. You got the stick.
Thank you, Dr. B. Well, this is a wonderful way to ground the meeting that we have, the conversations that we have. So I'm pleased to have two mayors, the mayor of Brooklyn Center and the mayor of Golden Valley. Welcome to you both. And let me say that our intent today is twofold. One is to engage you as surrogates for the Harris Walz campaign. You're on the trail helping people understand the stakes, the issues, and the value and the need to register to show up to vote. So I want you to talk about what you are saying to your neighbors, your constituents, your networks as a surrogate, and then what that means personally for you as a mayor. But I also want to take this opportunity to have you both talk about your experience as mayors of your cities and what the challenges are, what your expectations were, and what the progress has been towards what you envisioned as mission as you took on the responsibility, the mantle of leadership and service in your community. So let me start with April, the mayor of Brooklyn Center. April, Madam Mayor, so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Al. It's always a pleasure to be in space with you. As you said, I was elected mayor. I'm going on 2 years ago after two 4-year terms as a council member. And, I think I kind of had a fairly good idea of what to expect in the role. Although I will say that it has been even more work than I anticipated. And it's been hard. I think just on a personal level, balancing the responsibilities of being a mother, a single mother, of working full time in the city of Minneapolis as a public health specialist, and then also being mayor. And a lot of the time it's about sort of educating folks and somewhat tempering expectations. A lot of people don't even understand sort of the structure of government in the city. And so a lot of the time it's sort of educating folks on what is my role, what is within my scope and influence, and what also they can do to try to build buy-in or influence policy by talking to some of the other council members. So it's been difficult, but I think I'm doing a good job. One of the main things that I really strive to do in my role as mayor was to bring people together. We've had a lot of, I would say, division, a lot of trauma that has been experienced in Brooklyn Center. And my background really is around, doing the kind of healing work that needs to happen, both first and foremost personally, and then also in community, whether that's from, systemic violence or interpersonal violence in other forms. And so it's been a lot. There's days when I feel extremely tired. I've noticed too that, after council meetings, holding that space, although I think I do it well, and I always have sort of a feeling of accomplishment afterwards, it's very draining. The next day, I'm not very good at showing up for some of my other responsibilities. So a big part of continuing to do the work is making sure that I'm taking good care of myself.
And so right now we're moving headlong into a major inflection point for the nation and the world with the November election. What do you see as an elected and as a healthcare provider? What do you see you can do to help citizens understand what is at stake and how we should mobilize? How do you resist and challenge those ideas that say, oh, it's going to happen however it happens and my voice doesn't count? What do you say to people to get them excited, motivated, and help them develop a sense of equity and ownership of the process?
Well, I think I remind folks of our ancestors and how hard they had to fight for the right to vote, as well as some of the more contemporary examples of people that were disenfranchised, that people have advocated to get those rights back, like for folks who had previous law enforcement or charges, criminal charges on their record. I also talk about, if you're excited about some of these local candidates, or even myself, if you're happy with the job that I've been doing, you should definitely think about the effect you can have at the national level as well. Maybe you do feel like, oh, it's just one vote, it doesn't matter. And I empathize with folks' frustration with like the two-party system, so I don't negate some of those real concerns and frustrations, but I really try to remind them of what's at stake. I even share with them that, the first time that Trump was on the ballot, I really didn't think that there was any way he could win. I really did not believe that there was going to be that many people that would be so disillusioned. And I learned myself that was not the case. I think it's even more important now, after we're still sort of, I think, coming through a period of recovery after COVID, and especially in Minnesota, the civil unrest that was experienced after the murder of George Floyd, that we have to continue to push forward, even though we're tired. And we have to continue to work across different efforts and build more collaboration, more coalitions of like-minded folks who maybe didn't see themselves in one another, but have aligned interests. So that's really what I talk to people about. I try to have empathy for their frustration. I can sympathize with them and recognize that I've definitely been there before. The first time I really got engaged and went to a caucus was when Obama first ran. And I wasn't super engaged in local politics until I decided to run for the city council. And I didn't really learn that from anyone besides sort of myself and just jumping in feet first. But I definitely feel like there's space to make a difference, whether you're in an elected role or not. And the more people that we can connect with and build relationships with and build an understanding of what we share, as well as, how we're different, the better off we're all going to be.
You can pass the talking stick to anybody.
I'll pass it to Mayor Harmon.
Thank you. I love this. I absolutely love this because this platform right here, I mean, you're talking about women who do healing in their day life, right? And regular day job on top of running a city. And so it's such an honor to sit on this platform. I am new to this field as mayor of Golden Valley. I did not see this coming. I was kind of like Barack Obama just coming in out of nowhere when Hillary was running. I mean, we just didn't see it coming. And yet here I am. I am, an educator, 25 years, mental health practitioner. I've sat with Dr. Bravada and several, there's a board for African Americans who are mental health practitioners. But as mayor, I think, and also in my daytime job as executive director for Dispute Resolution Center, where I am a restorative practitioner holding circles as a circle keeper and training folks on circle practices, that's one of the main reasons why I ran, was for Golden Valley to be a restorative city and for us to adopt the restorative and the circle principles from the top all the way down, because it's so key when doing this work in leadership with the police department, right? In terms of housing, no matter what the area, it fits. And it fits because there's conflict in all of these different areas that can cause division really quickly, right? And so it's so important for all voices to know that they are seen and that they're heard, but that we want it to be done in a way that's respectful and that's healthy, right? And so as we look at this race, I tell you, I'm also a delegate, and this was my first time being involved with the DFL convention and going as a delegate and just really sitting down and seeing the process. That I did not go forward to be a part of the national convention because I thought, okay, well, Biden, he's got this, right? And then as we started to see the debate and the decline in the way that he was, speaking out of nowhere, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, Trump cannot take this race. What is happening? And then literally out of nowhere. And for someone who is a spiritual person like me, woo, that midnight hour, right? At the drop of a dime, late in the midnight hour, right? And here we have Kamala and Walz. And I mean, there is no better candidate than Walz. He is all American When you're talking about a husband, an educator, a coach, and then he can sympathize with, you know, reproductive rights because he and his wife, they're going through it. So he's all American. So he's ready. They are both ready for this position and for this time. And as Dr. Bravada said, this is the time for the woman, right? And so I'm so excited, not only for the woman, but for women of color, for us to really be in position as leaders. And so I'm excited, but we have work to do. We have work to do. And so I'm getting the notifications on my phone constantly, right? You know, you have so many platforms where people are rooting for Kamala and Walz, but we have to be activated on a local level. It starts right here in our cities, knocking on doors, making those phone calls, right? Doing whatever we can. And like, you know, Mayor Graves shared, it's hard because people are tired and people feel like, especially brown and Black people, we feel like, how is our vote really making a difference when we're still struggling and we're still traumatized and we're still going through what we're going through? I'm tired. Enough is enough, right? And yet I wouldn't be here. I would not be sitting here. We would not be sitting here if it was not for us saying, hey, your vote matters. I won by 26 votes. So I tell you, at the last minute, that midnight hour,
You know what it means.
that was a part of the 26. And so I truly believe that with this campaign, we have to continue to spread the word and to make sure that people are ready and that the voter registration is available. When I was running on my campaign, I had it on my website. It popped up. Register here to vote if you are not registered. You know, I was with my goddaughters yesterday in the car, taking them shopping for homecoming. And I'm like, well, the little one, but their older sisters were with them. And I said, y'all got to vote. Make sure you vote. You're 18 now. You've got to vote. And if you need help to register, I'm here to help you because it's very simple. It's very easy. So it's important. And so that awareness is so key because it starts here. It really starts here locally in order for us to make that impact nationally.
Let me ask the question of Dr. B and both of the mayors. You know, I am just thinking about Joe Biden when he selected and invited Vice President Harris to join his ticket as vice president. He called himself a transformational campaign and presidency. And I don't think that we realized the full impact of that. I think maybe people thought that after 8 years, she'd be in position. But lo and behold, the transformation was in the twinkling of an eye. It was at the midnight hour, as you said, Roslyn. And so that transformation sort of is the hallmark and the earmark of what is happening at the national level. Well, that is totally, from my point of view, in alignment with what happened and what is happening here in Minnesota. So you have, again, a visionary, ordinary man. He's a basic, decent human being. He's a guy. He's a teacher. He's a dad. He's a gun owner, right? He likes to joke around. He likes to, crack on people. He's a good guy. And he chose Peggy Flanagan, an indigenous sister, to be his lieutenant governor. And when he was picked to join the Harris team, it set in place a dynamic of dominoes that is phenomenal for the state of Minnesota.
Yes.
The potential for a Native American governor. And that leading to the potential for Bobby Joe Champion as the first Black lieutenant governor. And so this question of the year, the time, the age of the Black woman, Dr. B, how does this all look to you right now? How does it feel to you? And what we're going to do with this?
Ooh, I'm telling you, the world will never be the same when Black women and women of color, women of color in general, but especially our Black sisters, when we step into that space, carrying our own vision, our own wholeness, because our visions encompass wellness for everyone. We have never been raised in an I. We've been raised in a we.
Hmm.
We know how to build family. We know how to build community. We know how to build nations. So when we think about what's about to happen, is I feel like, just like we've said earlier, that African people work in orderly ways, so does the God I serve. So this happened. I hear my sister say, it's unbelievable. I can't be, it's because this was a divine appointment for both of them to be in the space they are right now doing what they're doing. Because I believe with my whole spirit and everything in me that the world will never be the same. Once we elect Kamala Harris, a sister of the Divine Nine, a sister in all kinds of ways, where she believes that we all have a right to be well. She believes we all have a right to have power. She believes we all have a right to go beyond surviving to thriving. What can I say? She could have no better surrogates than living legends right here, sitting here. Young sisters got it going
That's right.
on. They're telling us, they're foreshadowing that this world's gonna change. Because these sisters that we got on this panel, they're the embodiment of hopes and dreams. And I'm telling you right now, can't mess with them because they got it going on. So that's, if you ask me what I think, that's
Yep.
what I think. I'm telling you. And it's not just what I think, it's what I know. So with that, I guess I can give the talking stick to my sister April and see what she feels about all this Black womanist power that we're sharing and what we have common shared vision for all people to be well. So sister, here you got the stick.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm very excited about it. I remember when I first started as a council member, that was when I first met our Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan, actually at I think it was the legislative breakfast that they do for sort of like the Northwest suburbs. Typically it's hosted in Crystal. And so I was really excited for her when she became our Lieutenant Governor. I was excited to see her doing things like being human up on the pulpit, singing Prince songs, like I think we definitely need more spaces like that where people can really show up fully as themselves, as human beings, and to show some vulnerability, because I think that that's part of what's missing in the conversations that we're having and why spaces like this, like circles, are so important. But I've seen so much happening in Minnesota since 2015 when I first took office. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and the rise that she's had, the movement of Keith Ellison into a bigger role, and multiple different other people of color in different cities being elected to leadership positions, both at like an administrative level within city enterprises, as well as at elected officials. And I just feel super excited that I've been part of that process and part of that history. I feel like so many of us have been disillusioned and feel like and a lot of the time people don't even know who is representing them. And I feel like that's really started to change in my mind under Obama. It got all of us excited. I was most excited just about how he brought so many different people from different walks of life together and got people excited about being civically engaged again. And even though the last, 4 to 8 years have been really difficult years, I think, both in our country as well as politically, I'm also the kind of person that understands that you kind of need sort of this push and pull, the light and the dark, the hot and the cold, the conflict, the friction, to push us out of our comfort zones, to push us to make the changes that we need to make. And so even though it's been uncomfortable and it's been exhausting, I know that it's not for nothing. And we just have to keep pushing through and holding the faith that we know that our efforts will not be in vain.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll pass it to Mayor Harmon again.
I mean, shoot, preach, like, right? That's the truth. That's the truth, because this is no easy feat. It's very challenging, and it's even more challenging for us because of the color of our skin, right? And it's hard because You know, I think some folks want to see the angry Black woman, and it's like, I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to give you that because that's what you want, right? But one thing is for sure, you're not going to disrespect me, right? You're not going to disrespect me, but I'm not going to give you the angry Black woman, but I am going to have grace, and I'm going to come with this, because I think the challenge for me is, you know, I think everyone knows I never adapted to politics. I never felt that I was a politician, right? We all have some politics in us, but I'm learning, and I'm a quick learner. But for me, it wasn't really about politics with this race. It was about the people. And I see that with Kamala. She's saying, I'm here for you, right? And typically in politics, it's always for a bigger agenda. And I think folks just want to know, are our leaders for us? Are you meeting us where we're at? Do you understand that, you know, I'm going through some things and I just want my voice to be heard? Just hear me, listen to me, walk with me in this. And I truly believe that the two of them are the best people to be able to do that for our country. But I know for me to be able just to find balance, to make sure that, you know, I'm my best, to be able to do this. And I know Mayor Graves spoke about this earlier, but that is a challenge, because working a full-time job on top of mayor, which feels like a full-time job, right? I'm not a parent, but I'm doing so much that, you know, I have to put myself first. And so it's hard, but, you know, like you said, Dr. Bravada, God's got us. And all is good. We're here for a reason. And so I'm just excited just to see where this takes all of us, because this is exciting, right? To see Lieutenant Flanagan, as well as Bobby Joe Champion, you know, Mayor Carter, and for the Twin Cities to have 5 Black mayors. Come on now. Come on now. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
Well, listen, let me take the talking stick back just to say how wonderful it is to hear your voices and to hear your passion. And you are an example in my mind, Dr. B. I'm saying in agreement with you that these fearless leaders are the transformation we're looking for, that they embody and they represent, and that they walk as transformers, and that they walk as healers. And that is the power that is being deployed in the world right now. And they have the power in them, and in them we see and feel and know the power of change. So Mayor Graves, Mayor Harmon, thank you so very much for your leadership, your service in the city. And we'll talk to you later on. I want to pivot now and bring in.
Wait a minute before you pivot.
Oh,
I'm
ahead.
not ready to
Go
pivot
ahead.
yet.
Right.
I just want to say personally to both of our Madam Mayors, keep on keeping on.
That's right.
Shine your light. Be you, do you. You are divinely appointed to this space and time. Walk in your power. You will not walk alone. You will have an army of people, all diverse backgrounds, all ages, all types, following you. You know why? Because you are queens and you act like it. You carry yourselves like it. I'm too proud of you. Not so too proud. I mean, I'm telling you, so you just keep up the good work. I couldn't let him say bye without me saying that. I want to put that on the show, on the record. I'm saying these sisters are the bomb, and anybody who doesn't feel like they are, you need to come see me. I'll give you a free psyche eval, because I know for a fact this sister's got it going on. So I'm just saying, bye, come back. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.